as my partner says, a classic Horatio Alger story. We had 3 crates of records, 300 records together, rented a booth for 20 bucks at the Soulard Farmers Market. We sold almost everything. We sold like 300 records at 3 bucks a piece. And suddenly we had $900. This was a huge amount of money. And we went and bought a whole bunch more records.
Lou Prince has turned those 3 milk crates into the largest independent music store in the Midwest. And that has taught him all about assets and investments. But as he sees it, vintage vinyl's most important ones are its people.
St. Louis is an exceptionally musically literate town. So I need a consistent workforce of very educated, very knowledgeable people who are also patient.
I'm a Drive soundtrack on vinyl that we have one of.
And Lou has his ways of keeping them around.
We provide 100% paid for health insurance. And we do it outside of it. We have a very small deductible, $10 deductible on office visits and $10 on prescriptions. And that's because we really want people to use the health insurance. We also do it for your entire family.
When my wife and I got married, one of our big decisions was which health plan were we going to be on, my employers or her employers. And at the time, she worked for one of the biggest companies in Missouri. And we ended up being on the Vintage Vinyl Health Plan because it was a better plan.
This is my primary retention tool. It saves me tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in retraining people, in bringing in someone new, finding someone who can actually do this job.
Which appears to be working.
I can't get rid of anybody. People use it, people like it, people feel like they have a unique tie to the company.
Jim Utz has been working here for 23 years.
When I first started working here, I was straight out of college, so I was still under my parents' insurance. And then all my friends were like, oh, we're going to have to find jobs with health insurance. So it definitely took that fear of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to either have to not get sick or I'm going to have to find a job that will cover me if I get sick.
Many small businesses struggle with decisions about health care.
I think small businesses, the cost of providing coverage for themselves and their employees, they pay about 18% more than large businesses on average, and that's left about 28% of small businesses, defined by Kaiser, a Kaiser study as 25 and under, it's left about 28% of small business owners uninsured.
The problem is, as a small business, we've had to have larger and larger and larger deductibles in order to afford the monthly premiums. And so I'm gambling more every year.
And with the passage of the Affordable Care Act, many businesses, big and small, are thinking about health care more than ever.
The information around the Affordable Care Act was up until it was upheld by the Supreme Court, and then through the elections, there was a lot more discussion about whether it would stay a law or not, as opposed to what's in it. And there were a lot of provisions, or there were a lot of portions that were already in effect. So what we've been doing and what small business owners can learn now is they can amend their tax returns back, and they haven't missed out on those provisions. And then moving forward, we've seen a huge increase in folks wanting to know what's happening. Small business owners want to make sure that they understand the benefits in there. They want to understand if they have any obligations.
For small business owners who provided insurance to their employees, the impact is already evident.
When I went to shop for insurance the first year, for the first time after the ACA was passed, I got more insurance for less money. It was a miracle. It turned out that the ACA had set a basic level of coverage that had to be in the plan, and that it had somewhat regulated the price.
And yet some of the biggest changes under Obamacare haven't even taken effect.
The shop exchange is going to go live in 2014. It'll be accessible to employers. They'll be able to go on and shop for insurance for their employees. If you look at a small business now and an insurance company they assess the risk on, say, the 5 or 6 employees that work at that business. By purchasing through the exchange, you're pooling with all other businesses. They're generally going to be businesses 50 and under.
But the connection between career and healthcare is nothing new.
Folks who've been suffering from something called job lock, where they have insurance at their current position and they realize they won't be able to get it outside of that position, so they can't move around in their career. They can't change positions. They can't. And a big part of that is that they can't go out and start their own business. So being able to access coverage is going to be huge for folks and entrepreneurs to move around. And also for small business owners, folks who are working at a job that they're unhappy with or a bigger business or whatever, and they want to move, but they can't take that risk of going to a smaller company and losing that insurance that they have.
I'm not working just for health insurance. I love what I do, but it's definitely, I'm glad I don't have to worry about that, because it would be, not everyone gets to work with what they love to do. And so if I had to make a decision between health insurance and work happiness, it'd be a huge dilemma. Luckily, I don't have that problem.
For Stay Tuned, this is Margaret Enright.